go down to Jerome's. So before we get into this, yeah. All right. So got to put a disclaimer. We're just exploring the space. We're just talking. We're not advocating. We're merely laying out the case for Brandon Aiyuk. Now, we're also not advocating trading Jordan Addison. And I know that people are going to be emotional about this. And Addison, he's got all the talent in the world, and he is only 22. He's only heading into his second season, and he is a great talent. He's Kwesi's best draft pick so far through his first two classes. But at a certain point, he's got to learn from his mistakes. And yeah, it's good to show people grace and stuff like that. But he constantly keeps putting himself in these situations where very, very bad things could happen. All right. And obviously, Kevin O'Connell, teammates, Kwesi know way better than us, casual fans about can this work out long term? But also, the guy who said, let's get paid. And you got to wonder, it's like, all right, so he's doing this on rookie deal money. Do you feel comfortable giving Addison $35-40 million a year in a couple of seasons, which would be the going rate for a tier 1 receiver? All right, so that's something that will play into the thinking of the Vikings moving forward. And yeah. But Brandon Aiyuk. Now, first off, I need to say, so the Brandon Aiyuk thing, again, we're just exploring the space. I know it's going to upset a lot of people, but if you've been on this channel for more than 2 seconds, you know that we joke, that we like exploring every single avenue, just like exploring the space. And frankly, if you can't laugh at yourself about it, there's other teams out there. Ooh, I'm getting hurt. Yeah. But long story longer, Brandon Aiyuk has officially requested a trade from the San Francisco 49ers, and it's been a whole drama for the better part of a year about the contract, about the trade, about a lot of speculation. Oh, he's getting traded to the Commies. Oh, he's getting traded to the Steelers. Oh, blah, 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 blah. But through it all, he just remained. And a lot of people thought he was going to get traded during the draft. Didn't quite happen. And Diana Rossini of The Athletic put it out there. Historically, the 49ers get their deals finalized later in the summer. We'll see. They want to keep Aiyuk, but an offer around $26-27 million per year is below his asking price. They can still potentially use a franchise tag in Aiyuk next season to keep him around. As for the teams who have discussed interest in Aiyuk, look at teams trying to help a young quarterback on a rookie deal. So, if only I knew of a team that was going to have their future franchise quarterback on his rookie deal. Yes, taking into account Sam Darnold, who, by the way, was teammates with Brandon Aiyuk last year. Not saying, I'm just saying. And with San Francisco, they're going to be up against the salary cap here pretty soon because Brock Purdy is going to be is eligible for an extension next offseason. Now, do they try and get it done early to try and keep the price down? And Purdy, even though it's still controversial, it goes back like Brock Purdy's a Rorschach test. You see what you want to see. Like, do you see a franchise guy that you can win a Super Bowl with, or do you see just a cog in the system of a Kyle Shanahan offense? Right, TBD. But either way, as a 7th-round pick, who next year will be heading into the final year of his rookie deal, no 5th-year option, no one's earned an extension more than Brock Purdy. I think that's pretty fair to say. But of course, Kwesi and John Lynch go way back like chiropractic. Kwesi got to start in the San Francisco R&D department, and then John Lynch came in. Kwesi sees Lynch as a bit of a mentor, so he could get him on the phone just real quick and be like, what's up? What's going on? Hey, Aiyuk, are you interested in Jordan Addison? Question mark. So again, this is what it comes down to. The Vikings can make it work with Aiyuk and Jefferson on premium contracts, and Hawkinson too, by the way, because of clearing up things with the salary cap, especially next season and beyond. And with Addison, again, inside that building, they have a much better idea of what they're dealing with. Is he a guy that's just young and made some dumb mistakes and can learn from them and can be good to go the rest of the way? Or is he someone that you don't really want to extend to a long-term deal? Both things can be true, but something that the Vikings will have to assess. But let's talk about Brandon Aiyuk today. So, background: he is 26 years young, 6 foot 200. Got to start at Sierra Junior College before transferring to Arizona State. Now, speaking to the age of Jaden Daniels was teammates of Brandon Aiyuk back in the day for the Sun Devils. Good times. He was the number 25 pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. Ironically, that was originally the Vikings draft pick. Now, of course, the same class where they took Justin Jefferson at 22, but they traded with the Niners. Vikings traded back and took Jeff Gladney, rest in power. And Brandon Aiyuk has developed. He's had 4 solid seasons with San Francisco. Every single year has gotten a little bit better. Last year, 2023, had 75 catches for 1,342 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns on 105 targets. A second-team All-Pro, and helped the Niners go to the Super Bowl last year and all that stuff. Plus, he kind of looks like Mike Tomlin. Plus, I love that both of them have embraced it. It's kind of funny, man. So that's where a lot of speculation has come from, where the Steelers traded away Deontay Johnson, and Aiyuk and George Pickens will be a nice duo. And, of course, getting him to Washington, reuniting him with Jaden Daniels does make some sense too. But for the Vikings, why trade for him? So there's a couple things going on. So, number one, the Vikings don't have a ton of draft picks, and I would not be interested in trading a 1. So that's why it would basically come down to a de facto Addison for Aiyuk swap, which you can debate the merits of that all day long. One of them is an ascending talent. One of them is already established as one of the better receivers in the game, second-team All-Pro last year, but one is on a rookie deal at 22, and the other one is due for a massive contract extension at 26. So I get the merits for both. But with Aiyuk, just turned 26 in March. He's proved every single season he's been productive in a similar scheme to Kevin O'Connell's. High energy, smooth route runner, dangerous in the open field. That's the thing about Aiyuk at Arizona State. It's like every single time he touched the ball, it was a bit of a punt return. Just in space. He's got some good moves. He's efficient, 2.65 yards per route run in 2023. Reliable hands, only had 2 drops last season on 105 targets. Attacks vertically, 14.6 ADOT, which sort of flies in the face of the whole Brock Purdy noodle arm check down thing. But does have inside-outside versatility. Roughly the same percentage breakdown in terms of playing in the slot or outside as Justin Jefferson. Also, 91.7 PFF receiving grade, was number 2 in the NFL last year. Justin Jefferson was tied for 4th. And also, the Vikings can afford it cap-wise, even with Darnold making $10 million because McCarthy is on his rookie deal. And also, the Vikings are eating those void-year dead cap hits this year to free up significant cap space next season. And think about it. So, I love me some Jordan Addison. I think that he can turn things around. But Jefferson and Aiyuk would be would be dirty. And it really doesn't, because that would end the conversation. I understand that people sort of downgrade the Vikings wide receiver duo of Jefferson and Addison because Addison, very solid rookie year, but hasn't busted out, but he will in the next couple of years. But Aiyuk is already there, and Jefferson is obviously already there. So that would be tier 1, best duo in the league, hands down. And also, you got to factor in Hockenson. But another factor, of course, is the contract. So SpotRack estimates his value at $26.5 million per year. It's probably going to take more than that, all right? And it would be kind of shocking to have 2 receivers making $28 million plus per season. I think that Aiyuk is probably looking at that Jalen Waddle, Devontae Adams plus territory at this stage, but Jefferson making $35 million a year, Aiyuk making $28 million a year. That's a big chunk of change. And also, you toss in Hockenson making tier 1 tight end money. That's a lot. But also, that's what you can do when you have a quarterback on his rookie deal. And also, if the Vikings do hang on to Addison, and if he gets his mind right and he produces on the field and stays clean off of it, I mean, the Vikings are going to be looking to pay him significant money, and in a couple years with inflation, that's probably going to be $35 million a year in his own right, maybe even more than that. We'll see. But like I said, it's something to think about. And frankly, if Kwesi didn't even give it the time of day, or perhaps even explore it, he's not doing his job. And I think with Addison's recent actions, I think all options could and should be on the table. For me, if I was GM, all right, so let's make this as simplistic as possible. Could you trade Addison right now for Aiyuk straight up? Say that John Lynch would agree with that, agree to that. So he'd have a young, lots of potential receiver on his rookie deal that alleviates some of the cap issues. That they can extend Brock Purdy next offseason, and Brandon Aiyuk is certainly talented for them, but they don't have to pay him, and they don't have to worry about all that stuff. But I would do it specifically because the Vikings have a ton of cap space in 2025 and beyond, and then you would be fully locked in, right? Because then that would kickstart your Super Bowl window. If you have Jefferson and Aiyuk and Hockenson all on premium deals, all in their mid to late 20s, you got to go after this thing. And no matter whether it's Darnold or McCarthy or whatever, you got to go. You got to go for it, man. So we'll see. But your thoughts are thoughts. Brandon Aiyuk requests a trade. Should the Vikings be in? Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.